Sturdy Sisters are the ships.
Yeah. Yeah, Richard supporting it.
Did you see the light bulb come on? Okay. In the sentence, he had said, an egg, not a table, correctly typifies this unexplored planet. What is he referring to with the vocabulary an egg?
The Earth.
Good. In this sentence, now 3 sturdy sisters.
Ships.
The ships. Oh, and now it makes sense, right? But did I need a little bit of information? Did I have to go into this elaborate discussion? No. Not necessarily, depending upon what information they already know. Next slide. Okay. We've given you some strategies, and now I want to talk to you about no prior knowledge is important, or some. We're going to look at strategies that we can engage in before reading, during reading, and post or after reading. Next slide. Before reading, we have to give them the necessary background knowledge, and I want to emphasize the necessary. We don't want to go back to giving them everything. That we do this explanation and we do all the work, and then they are just reading, but we've already told them what it's all about. So it's just a brief amount of background knowledge. Vocabulary is important, especially in my content areas, especially with our children today who are not doing extensive reading. They're not building this vast vocabulary. I am very choosy in the vocabulary that I teach. If my expository text defines it, has a picture, explains it, gives an example, I don't teach that vocabulary. When we get to it, they will tell me how they figured it out. They will have to do something where they say, and what did you use in the text to figure it out? I used the picture. I used these words, blank and blank. I inferenced it because I knew this, and they had the words this. Empowering and not enabling. That's what you remember.
Okay? So I am very selective. The only vocabulary that I truly teach are the words that they cannot figure out. The text does not give them enough information to figure it out. And then I teach it, and it's a before reading activity. And there's the 4 square as one of the examples. Next. During reading, my students have to focus and figure out what is the objective, what is the purpose, why are we reading this? And there's a lot of discussion, there's student interaction. They will compare, they will contrast, they will reference the text specifically. I'm running through these fast because I want to get to something. Post-reading, then they're going to do something where they make a judgment or a decision. They're going to reflect on the text, they'll summarize it, whether orally or written. Perhaps combining multiple texts or multiple authors. Next slide. Okay. This is a suggested lesson format for a before reading, during reading, and post reading. Before reading, I think pair share. During reading, reciprocal reading. And post reading, a fishbowl. Next slide. Think, pair, share. This is a suggestion. For before reading, I have my students think. I present a specific question or problem. The students think on their own. They must write on their own. Each individual child will make a response. Then we're going to pair. Have a discussion with their partner and share. I could then have them share from 2 partners to 4 partners. Next, during reading. Reciprocal reading. I've paired my students, A and B. Student A reads paragraph 1, the first page, orally out loud to B. A then comes up with 1 or 2 really good questions that B has to answer. B either answers them or discusses why they can't answer them. A and B have a discussion on the answers, and they flip-flop. Now it's B's turn. B reads the next paragraph, answer the questions to A, and they vice versa. Next slide. Post-reading. This is the fishbowl. This is when I am modeling and showing them how to do this. I take a group of students that I've selected. So now I have 4 or 6 students. We've done the before reading, we've done the during reading, now we're after reading. I pick my 4 or 6 and I select a leader.
They are in the fishbowl. They're in the center of the classroom. All the other students are around watching. The leader, they have the question, they've come up with the main idea or whatever my objective was, they lead the discussion and the leader gives one idea, only one. The leader also makes sure that everyone in their group has to have some opinion or participation. Everyone on the outside is taking notes, making comments, like what they don't like, what they learned, and then there's a debriefing. And then we talk about it. Eventually, I'm going to get rid of the fishbowl because what's going to happen to every group in my class? They're all going to be doing it. They're all going to be participating in that group and that debriefing as far as, so what did you learn? What did you think? What did you come away with? This is one suggested format. Next slide. I wanted to get to the point of multiple readings. I have just a few minutes. Common Core is saying we need to delve deeper into reading, right? Yes. They need to read it multiple times, correct? The same text. So it's not that we're giving more. We get to give less, but we delve deeper and deeper. And so they talk about multiple readings. Every time they read, though, it is not for the same purpose. First reading, it's simply to comprehend. What is this about? What is this article? What is this text about? Figuring out what it means. Second reading, we're now going to figure out the text and how it's worked. The organization, the structure, the purpose, what was the author's intent, literary devices and the effectiveness of them. The vocabulary, why did they use that vocabulary? For the preamble in the Constitution, why did they use the vocabulary?
It was a long time ago.
That was the vocabulary of the day. That's how they spoke. That's how they talked. Would we write it today like that?
No.
Okay, y'all, how would it be written? Like, now think about this. Wait, like when I think of legal documents today, can you read a legal document today? You need a what? A law degree. So that one I think this is probably easier reading than what we would have because we would need a law degree to read it now. Anyway, I talk about the choice of words and why and what influenced it. The other thing I can do is the quality of the evidence, the data, the quality of the data, presented in how. When we do these multiple readings, we may not be reading the entire document. It might be sections that you emphasize or point out that you want them to do particular things with. So when I'm doing multiple readings, it doesn't have to be the entire document. Next page. That third reading is delving even deeper. What was the purpose? Author's point. What does it say to me in my world today? Very real life. How do I evaluate the quality of the work? How does this text connect to other texts? Now that I understand through my first reading, and I have it analyzed through my second reading, I can make a judgment. Much more critical and evaluative judgment based on my prior readings. Okay. Any questions? I want to thank you so much for your participation and your attention. I hope you have some valuable information that you can take back and use. Any questions?
You'll have your evaluation.
Don't forget about your grade sheets if you're a Lafourche Parish employee.